Becoming Sister Wives, Chapter 14, Part 3. Before this, only Mary, the legal wife, would go with Cody to any official function, but now we go as a group. Whether or not people condone what we do, everyone acknowledges me as Cody's wife. The simple piece of not having to remember to use my cover story has been a relief. I love being able to express my pride in being Cody's wife without fear or anxiety. Naturally, the show has provided me an opportunities to experience other things I would have never been able to, such as taking the kids on a camping trip to Big Bear. Sorry, I'm just moving positions, guys. Big Bear, renting a cabin in the mountains at Christmas, going snowmobiling, but there was a damper put on things very quickly. The Lehigh City Police Department announced on the day our show premiered they had been investigating our family since we introduced the show at the Television Critics Association. We introduced the show in September, and by November, it was clear that we were going to have to leave Utah or risk the safety of our family. We decided not to tell anyone, not our friends, coworkers, or even the producers of our show. We didn't want to make a big deal out of our decision. We wanted to protect our children while we figured out our next move. In fact, we told TLC only shortly before we moved. We obviously had a production schedule lined up, but this was a huge change in those plans. We weren't really sure they would continue the show, but we had made our minds up as a family that it was the best thing for us to move out of state. We felt it would be best for our kids. I'm so sorry, guys, I'm trying here. We thought it would be best for our kids if we put some distance between our family and some of the emotional stressors in Utah. It was a heartbreaking moment when I explained to my children that we were moving to Las Vegas. Madison, my oldest daughter, kept screaming, "You can't make me go. I'm going to run away." Hunter, my second boy, just sobbed. My oldest, Logan, was stoic. He simply squared his shoulders and said, "Okay, let's do what we need to do." It was devastating having to separate the kids from their friends and take them out of the big house. But I'm so sorry, guys, I'm trying. But it is my belief that everything happens for a reason. The move to Las Vegas has been instrumental in exposing our children to a more diverse culture. This is an important step to help them decide what faith they will follow when the time comes. For some of my children, I think polygamy would be an appropriate choice. For others, I'm not sure yet. I know that most of them are eager to return to Utah. The mortality evident in Utah still appeals to many of the kids, and for this I am grateful. However, exposure to different types of people and different lifestyles will help my kids make more informed choices. I'm sure when they're off at college, the only thing I ask them is that they go to college. They will look back on their time in Las Vegas not as a trial, but as a period of intense and important growth. I have also seen some wonderful benefits for myself in the move to Las Vegas. Since we are living openly for the first time, I no longer have to censor myself and hide my home life from new acquaintances. I have a much richer and diverse social life in Las Vegas than I ever had in Utah or Wyoming. I no longer worry about people coming into our houses. In fact, I am always excited to welcome our neighbors. Something I never imagined I'd be able to do back in Utah. Despite the fact that for the first time in my life I have a much larger circle of friends, leaving Utah has only been a period of leaving Utah has also been a great period of personal upheaval for me. Obviously, my government job didn't travel with me. I struggled through a period of unemployment, which was difficult for a girl who had always been defined herself by her career. I also did a lot of behind-the-scenes family administration, but it didn't take the place of a full-time job. Cody and I had both more and less time together. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, okay. As Cody was spread thin between 4 separate homes and more time we were looking because we were looking for more. Cody and I really struggled with each other. When I'm yanked out of familiar surroundings, I often begin to question my place in the world and the family. Not having a job for the first time in ages really shook me. I have also identified myself as a career woman, and now for the first time in my life, I was a stay-at-home mom. Shortly after we arrived in Vegas, I found myself in the throes of a full-fledged identity crisis. I was miserable and took that misery out on others, especially Cody. I was a veritable fault-finding mission. He couldn't do anything right. Every issue I ever had with him in the past began to bubble up and boil over. Our whole lives were in upheaval. I knew that in order for things to settle down, both physically and emotionally, Cody and I would have to clean house, throw out the trash that had been accumulated in our marriage, and move forward. But first we had to hit rock bottom. I didn't know who I was anymore.